Well, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Okay, it's Sarah Starr speaking here, and we've got an absolutely fantastic webinar for you this evening. You're going to learn so much cool stuff. Now, before we even get going, what I would like you to do is just type in a yes into the question box if you can hear me. I always like to make sure we've got all the technical things sorted out, and I also want to make sure you get used to using that question box because you're going to have a ton of questions today because there's so much amazing content. Okay, we've got an absolute ton of yeses coming in. I'm not even going to bother reading them out because they're just scrolling up. Now, just to warn you, we've had an unusually high amount of people register for this webinar, and I'm kind of like worried that we're going to get maxed out. I know that's kind of like a really hypey thing to say, and a lot of people say that, but it is true. We did have this on a webinar a little while ago where we actually maxed out. So you're in today, and that's fantastic. So try not to leave, because if you do leave, you probably won't be able to get back in. And I do apologize for that. It's just GoToWebinar has a very frustrating thing where they only allow 1,000 people on the webinar at any one time. Well, certainly on my account anyway. If you have more than that, then people just can't get in. So make sure you don't leave today. Okay, so like I said, we've got an absolutely fantastic webinar for you tonight. And this all really stems from a couple of things recently. I recently, you probably received the email, and I sent an email out to you a little while back, which was called the Holy Grail of Internet Marketing, or something. I think it was called that. That was the subject line. And really, the Holy Grail of Internet Marketing really is paid traffic, and being able to basically get traffic easily, and traffic that you can prove, traffic that is like proven to work and convert, and then be very, very easily repeated. So in other words, you can get a bunch of traffic, that traffic converts into sales, and then basically to hit the reset button and start again if you like. And anyway, I sent that email out and asked you actually to reply to that email if you'd like to learn more about this stuff. And I have to say, I've been absolutely inundated with your emails. Probably a lot of you on today who sent me emails saying you'd love to learn more about paid traffic techniques and also free traffic techniques as well, but particularly paid traffic techniques. And so what I've actually done is today, I know, this is, as you know, this is something that I'm very interested in. This is something that I've been involved in for a long time. But what I've decided to do is bring in an expert today to share with you some of these like paid traffic techniques that some of the really big guys are using in the industry. And to be honest, a lot of this stuff you're going to learn tonight is very rarely taught in internet marketing. It's kind of like the top-end stuff that usually only the gurus use to kind of like build their businesses. And as you know, I've got a kind of like a grassroots in internet marketing with Google AdWords. That's how I got started, first of all, way back in 2008, and did incredibly well. And that really taught me, how paid traffic can really massively pay off. And right now, as you know, I run a lot of Facebook campaigns. And one of the things I love about paid traffic is I can come up with an idea in the morning, put an advert up, and literally be driving traffic within, like an hour or 45 minutes and be making sales. And that's what it's all about. It's about doing things super quickly, okay, being able to test something very, very fast, and then refining it, and then, rinse and repeat, basically. So what I've done is I brought along a good friend of mine, Greg Caesar. Now, Greg is somebody I've heard about for a long time. His name keeps coming up again and again and again. And, I've seen several of his courses in the past, and I have to say some of his, he's like, as an example, he's got an amazing AdWords course, which I looked at a long time ago. I know he's he's one of these guys who basically teaches, what he does in his business. So, basically, when Greg teaches something, it's not just some hypey stuff he's teaching. What he teaches is basically stuff he does in his business every day, very similar to what I teach in my business as well. And that's really why I wanted to bring Greg along today. And Greg is really known in the industry for being kind of like the traffic guru, the traffic expert, and kind of like one of these people that really does think outside the box. And I love that. I love people who can think outside the box and come up with ideas and strategies that very few people have done before. And that's really what he's known as, kind of like the ideas guy, if you like. He's known for AdWords, and he's particularly known for lots of different paid traffic techniques, and this is where the megabucks really are in this industry. It's with paid traffic. If you talk to any internet marketer who's making over 10K a month, they'll all be using paid traffic in some form to build their business. So with all of that, I'd like to hand over to Greg, and thank you so much for coming on today and teaching us all about paid traffic. I mean, I know I'm going to be taking some notes this evening.
Awesome, awesome. First of all, thank you for inviting me and putting this on. So this is going to be an awesome training, guys. I'm going to have to give you guys a blueprint that I use for strategies that has helped me sell over 100,000 products on the internet. I'm going to walk you through the process that I go through, and then I'm going to talk about one of the newest and most amazing ways that I found to drive really, really cheap, high-quality traffic to any offer that you have. So we're going to go through a proven five-step process to starting, running, and building a successful internet business, even if you've never made a penny online before today. What I'm going to show you is so amazingly duplicatable, anyone can do it. If you are already selling online, you're going to love the scaling aspect of what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get started. First of all, do I have your permission to fire you up? Guys, do I have your permission to show you some amazing things that unfortunately might cause you not to go to sleep tonight? Is that okay if I do that? Would you guys be okay if I can keep you up all night because your brains are going to be so on fire? Let's see. We're getting some awesome answers. Tony says yes. Ian says hell yeah.
Yeah.
He says yep. Steve says go for it. Okay, I'm going to do it. You guys asked for it, so now I'm going to bring the heat. That is my style. So have a pen ready. This is going to be training. I have a lot of content to give to you. If you miss something, don't worry about it. We'll get a replay out to you, but try to get as much as you can. Now, at the end, if you hang around to the end, I'm going to give you a secret marketing strategy that I've used, took me about 10 minutes to implement, and brought me in 700 clients paying $20 to $30 per month. Took me 5 to 10 minutes to implement this. I'm going to show you this strategy, and you're going to say, I can't believe I've never done this. So you've got to hang around to the end. That's the reward for being here live today. So little history about myself. I started offline in 1997, helping local businesses. Believe it or not, I still work with local businesses today. I just sent out a proposal yesterday to a client. I started selling products on the internet around 2002. And the reason I started selling online was because I wanted more local businesses. I wanted to go to a business and say, don't hire that person, hire me. They're not selling anything. How could they help you with marketing if they're not selling anything? Well, I got really good with selling products. Since then, I've sold over 100,000 products in over 100 different countries myself. That doesn't include my affiliate sales. If I include sales that I've made through affiliates, this number is somewhere between 125 and 150,000 units moved. Those are actual customers. That's not dollars. That's number of customers. So I've had the opportunity to practice a lot to get this down to a science. Sought out by some of the best internet marketers on the planet. When a lot of internet marketers are launching something new, they'll call me and say, hey, what do you think about this? So again, I get the opportunity to mastermind with some of the most brilliant people on the planet, and I'm an international guest speaker. I've spoken all over the globe, Singapore, Malaysia, UK many times, Jamaica, all over the United States. But I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Don't think because now I'm having success, oh, he's lucky, he was born like that. It's not the case. My parents came to the United States from Haiti back in the late 60s. My dad was making $1 an hour. So to tell you that we were below the poverty line, we were below the poverty line. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that my dad instilled in us that has led me to be successful today. Although we were physically poor, we weren't mentally poor. You can't help someone who's mentally broke. There's nothing you can do for that person. We didn't have the vehicle yet. We were just waiting for that vehicle to come in. My dad today retired, and he owns 4 or 5 houses. So how does a man go from making $1 an hour to owning 4 or 5 houses. It's called not being mentally poor. So, wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Now, a lot of people also think, this guy's a genius. I can never do what he does. Let me tell you something, folks. It's far from the truth. I am dyslexic. I'm so dyslexic, I spelled dyslexic wrong, right? I was told in high school you'd never amount to anything. I've got ADD. As a matter of fact, I've got ADD squared times 2. Many of you guys here understand ADD, the shiny object syndrome. We all have it, okay? It's a gift and a curse sometimes. I'm unorganized. If you saw what my desk looked like right now, you'd say, no way. My wife wants me to move my office downstairs because it's in the front of the house, and she's embarrassed. It's messy. Who cares? I'm a procrastinator, right? Many of you guys can relate to that, being a procrastinator. I started with 0 technical skills. I didn't even know how to build a web page. I didn't even know any of that stuff. Wasn't something I was born doing. And I started off dead broke. When I left my corporate job, because my boss said to me, when I tell you to do something, you do it, that day I realized I was unemployable. I quit my job. I went home, told my wife I'm going to start a business, and at the time I had maybe $1,000 in the bank. So I started off my business with no money, nothing whatsoever. So if I can do it, then you can too. Take all the things that are holding you back, right? Everything that's kept you back in the past, I want you to put it in a ball. And let today be the day that you stop believing in those things. It wasn't until I stopped believing that ADD was going to hold me back, until I stopped believing that dyslexia is going to hold me back, until I stopped believing that someone who's unorganized cannot be successful. When I stopped giving that energy, then I started to have success. So if I can do it, the son of an immigrant making $1 an hour who's dyslexic and unorganized, what's holding you back? That's my question. So my thing is this. I'm going to teach you some things. I'm going to teach you how I think. Number 1, stop wasting your time on tricks. The only way that you will achieve long-lasting success online is by learning the necessary skills. Nothing else works. I feel sorry for people coming into internet marketing today, because when I got started, people taught skills. Today, it's a bunch of tricks. Let's game Google. Let's game Bing. Let's game this search engine. It does not work. At least it only works in the short term, not long term. So what are the skills that you want to learn? You want to learn how to find what people want to buy. You've got to understand this like it's the next best thing. You've got to understand what people want to buy. You've got to learn how to create killer offers. You've got to understand the selling process. How is it you want to sell if you don't understand the selling process? And you have to know how to reverse engineer. That's a fancy way of saying copy. You have to learn how to copy what's already working. I call it start from a position of success. You're going to hear me say this over and over and over. Start from a position of success, and then you've got to get good at getting the eyeballs. If there's anything, get good at getting the eyeballs. That's traffic, because everything else can be fixed when you can get the eyeballs, right? Now, the question, though, is this. What is the single biggest problem most marketers face today? The single biggest problem most marketers face today. I'm going to tell you what I used to say, but I've got a change of heart. I used to say traffic, because my belief was he or she who controls traffic is king. If you can control the traffic, that's all you need. You are at the top of the food chain. But if traffic were really the cause of the problem, right? If traffic really is the issue, why is it more people are not driving traffic? Because traffic is like oxygen. There's an unlimited supply. It's everywhere. So why is it people aren't driving more traffic? Then I got my first aha moment, like Oprah Winfrey likes to say. And that aha moment is this. It's not traffic that's the issue. It's a working offer that's the issue. Right? So people are trying to get eyeballs to offers that don't work. So no matter what you do, the traffic fails. Let me ask you a question. If you got your hands today on some iPhone 6s, would you have problems driving traffic to sell iPhone 6s? The answer is no. Why is it? Is it the traffic that made the difference? No, it's the offer, because there's such demand for that product right now. So if you knew without the shadow of a doubt that this web page you're looking at right now is converting like gangbusters, 90% of the people who hit this web page buy the product, would you be afraid to drive traffic to that offer? Many of you should be saying, heck no. And the reason is because the offer is working. So what you got to get good at is spotting and reverse engineering the working offers, and then you just get the eyeballs, right? When you've got a working offer, it's really easy to drive eyeballs. So the answer is to find an offer or a sales funnel that converts with absolute certainty. Then and only then do you drive traffic to that offer. See that? We flipped it upside down. Only then do you drive traffic to that working offer. So let me give you some examples of how this mindset has helped me. So I sat down and said, let's look at some of my best offers and why did they work. So one of my best-selling ebooks, basically it was an offer that I saw being run in a publication. I said, that's an interesting offer. So what I did was I studied the offer. I studied the publication for a couple months. I said, hey, they're still running an ad. Then I went to the library. Yes, got in my car, went to the library, and researched the last 4 years of that publication. What did I find? The same ad running every single month. I said, got to be a working offer. Then I went to the library, back to the library. I took out some books on the subject matter. Yep, I actually read them all too, became an expert. Then I created my own product. I took that product from $0 to $3,000 a week in sales in less than 2.5, 3 weeks. Total time invested in marketing, maybe 4 to 5 hours. Why? Because that offer was fantastic. Another product called the HUD Tracer, same thing. I saw an offer being run in a publication. I saw it running over and over. I ran the same ad on the same page. Went from $0 to $25,000 a month in less than 30 days. Another offer I ran on Bing, had a friend say, hey, there's an offer in the CPA networks. There's some guys making 6 figures, 7 figures a month. I said, can you get me the landing page? Sent me the landing page, signed up for the offer, went into Bing, bang, spent $900 within 30 days, made over $7,000 in sales. MLM, some of you guys are into network marketing. One of my neighbors got me involved into a network marketing thing. It's not my thing. I'm not into network marketing. But my neighbor kept harassing me, so I said, okay, fine. So I went out and found a company that had a landing page already created that I could buy from them. And one day in conversation, one of the guys said, man, one of the guys is using my landing page, and he is crushing it on Google. I'm sorry, not Google, on Bing. That's all I needed to hear. That night, I created my campaign in Bing, and I am telling you, I went from 0 people in the business to over 300 people in the business, and it took me about 6 months to do that on complete autopilot. Okay? So, why were they successful? Why were those projects not only successful, but scaled and successful very quickly? Because I started from a position of success. I started with an offer that I already knew that was working, so when I drove the traffic, it was a guaranteed winner. I didn't have to do anything else. I knew I was going to win. So let's go over the 6-step success formula. Okay, this is how you research your market and how you get it going. So number 1, you identify your market. Number 2, identify your niche. Number 3, you're going to test your market. Number 4, you're going to create your product. Number 5, you're going to drive traffic, and the most important is once these 5 are working, you scale. That's it. You scale. You expand it. So let's break them all down. Identifying your market answers the question of who do I sell to. Okay? That's all your market is. It's people. It's a group of people that you sell to. So question is, what do people buy? Solutions. Solutions, solution, solution. That's all people buy. I don't care what it is. It's a solution. Right? People don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. So if someone is buying a car, they've got a transportation problem. If they're buying a house, they've got a housing problem. If they're buying food, they've got a hunger problem. So you've got to change your lens of how you see the world and start looking at the world as problems and solutions. right? Start keeping a mental notes of the problems that people have. And when you get good at identifying them, driving the traffic to these are extremely easy because you're already starting from a position of success. So bigger the problem, more money you want to make, right? So look for big problems that people have. I like to talk about the gauze versus a Band-Aid. If you have a paper cut, would you pay me $100 for a Band-Aid? Probably not. But if you cut your carotid artery and you've got 3 minutes before you bleed out and die, would you pay me $1,000 for a gauze? You'd probably pay me $2,000 because otherwise you're going to die, right? So gauze versus a Band-Aid. People are going to pay a whole lot more money for a gauze than they will for a Band-Aid. So some examples, when you look at internet marketing, right? Someone who wants to lose 5 pounds is very different than someone who needs to lose 90 pounds. The person who wants to lose 5 pounds, are they really going to pay you $100 to learn how to do that? But the person who needs to lose 90 pounds, where do you see these folks? They're paying $10,000 for gastric bypass, right? Another example is living with tonsillitis versus living with heart disease. Which one of these two people are going to pay you more money? The person who has heart disease is going to pay you a whole lot more money than the person who has tonsillitis. Trust me, I know. My dad just had a heart attack. Almost $100,000 in cost. Okay? So, question that you have to ask yourself is this: how will my product, my solution, impact their life? If they buy my product, how will it impact their life? If they don't buy my product, how will it impact their life? And if you can't answer that question, they can't answer it in their mind either. So the most profitable categories where you're going to make money, look, there's a million different categories out there, but this is it. This is where the money is. It's love. Everybody wants to be loved. It's an evergreen market. Money, everyone wants to make more money. That's an evergreen market. Beauty, people want to look better. Do you know during the Great Depression in the 1930s that the two categories, while every other business is going under, two categories actually increased. One was hosiery and the other was makeup. Because people say, I'm down to my last 10 bucks. I'm not going to pay the electric bill with it. I'm going to go out looking good. So they go out and they buy hosiery and they buy makeup. True story. Now, longevity. People want to live longer. Does anybody want to live shorter? People want to live longer. And if you doubt that, walk down your grocery store the next time you get a moment and pay attention to the supplements and vitamins aisle. The vitamin aisle is longer than the bread aisle. It's longer than the milk aisle. Why is that? Because people are spending money there. Okay? And then the next one is entertainment. People will do anything to have fun. Hobbies are another example. And I love hobby market. I love the fun market. So the important criteria is when you're looking at a market is large markets. Niche, small niche stuff is great because of the conversions, but you want to go where the dollars are. You want to go where there is a lot of people there, a lot of people to make money. The next one is you want people that are rabid and hungry. Sometimes the purchase is irrational. I fly remote control airplanes. And I'm going to tell you, I'm very good at crashing remote control airplanes. And every time I crash one, I go to the store and I buy another one. It's an irrational purchase. I'm a grown man playing with toys. But every time I crash it, I say, oh my God, I got to go get another one. I can't not have my remote control airplane. So again, that's an example of an irrational purchase. Do they have money? I would love to sell internet marketing courses and internet marketing training to homeless people because they need it. They need it more than anyone, but they can't afford to buy it. So they don't have money. Not a good choice for the market. And requires multiple solutions to solve a problem. You don't want to go into a market where once they buy the product, for example, let's say, you know, someone says, this is the last phone you will ever need for the rest of your life. You don't want to go in that kind of market. And the problem with that market is you've got nothing else that you can sell to people. You've got nothing else to expand that relationship. And then you want to be in a market where you've got multiple advertising channels. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Google, I'm on Bing, I'm on Yahoo, I'm on newspapers, I'm on a lot of different things. I've got affiliates. I've got multiple channels bringing my traffic. I'm not just focused on Google, just one thing. Because I'm telling you, what happened to some of the people who only focused on Google back 5, 6 years ago, and Google shut them down? They're out of business. I can tell you horror stories from students who only focused on Google who are out of business. Okay? So the other thing is they're already searching for your solution. The reason you want to be, and that's an important criteria, is because I don't have to convince you to buy my product. You're already looking for it. Not only is that important, that makes it easy to reach, because that tells me they're in Google, they're in YouTube, they're in Yahoo, they're on Facebook. They're already searching for a solution. All I have to do is position myself in front of you. It's very easy to market, very easy to reach your market. You know, iPhone is another example, like I talked about. People are looking for the iPhone. I don't have to convince you that you need to get an iPhone. I don't have to convince you that you should get a tablet. You're looking for one. Okay? So, and multiple competitors in the marketplace. If there's anything you learned from me today, you need to be in the market where there's multiple competitors. I know it's counterintuitive, but the reason why, okay, let's test your guys' thinking here. Why do you want to be in a market where there is multiple competitors? Type that into the chat box. Tell me what you guys think. Okay, money is being made there. Natalia says that. Means traffic is there. Vince, good answer. Because you know there's demand, people making money, the demand, big demand, because the demand is there. You guys have all got it right, but you only got one side of the equation. The reason you want to be in the market where there is competitors there is so you can copy. They've done all the work for you. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do, exactly what you need to put on your page, exactly what to put in your autoresponders. They're going to tell you everything you need to do. That's why I say start from a position of success. I wasn't able to take those businesses, as I showed you, and go from 0 to full scale in 30 days because I had to figure everything out on my own. That would have taken me months, if not a year or more to do. But because the competitor was there, it shortcut my process from a year to a week. How many of you would like to shortcut your process from a year to a week? Right? That's why you have to be in a market where there are competitors, especially successful competitors who are running advertisements. Okay? And again, multiple price points. You don't want to be pigeonholed into a market where you're only selling a $7 item. You want to sell a $7 item, a $10 item, a $100 item, maybe a $1,000 item. Don't get stuck in a marketplace where you're stuck with one price point. Okay? And long-term sales. The seasonality stuff is good because you can get some really bulk orders in seasonal stuff. But what happens with seasonal stuff is you've got money coming in today, and then you're feast or famine for the next 8 months until the season comes back around. You don't want to be in a market like that. You want sales happening all year round. Now, one of the tools and tricks that I like to use is something called Power Words. And what Power Words are is it shows me what people are searching for that gives me ideas for products that I can create based on the search that they're doing. So to give you some example, we've got something called the moving towards. They want to learn something. So what do? They go into Google and they type in how to X, learn X, make X, start X. Right? So they're telling Google, I want to learn this. Listen, I'm a smart marketer. If 100,000 people type in learn X, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to teach them how to do X. Then we have what's called the moving away from Power Words. Those moving away from is they're trying to stop something. In other words, remove X, stop X, get rid of X. Okay, so you've got moving towards, you've got moving away from. Those are the, out of all the power words that I normally like to look at, those are the most powerful ones. So let's look at some examples. There's a tool that I use called the Keyword Researcher Pro. Really inexpensive tool. I want to say it's 40, 50 bucks. You go in to Google, into the tool, and you put in how to, and you put a wildcard for beginners. It will tell me every example of how people are searching for the words how to, and it'll tell me what that wildcard is for beginners. Learn X, start AX for business, and let's look at some examples. I kid you not, I didn't make this up. how to grow weed indoors for beginners. I kid you not. These people actually went into Google and they searched that. And what the tool did is it filled in weed indoors. Okay? I didn't know that was a search. It told me that's what they're looking for. The next top one, how to grow weed outdoors for beginners. Again, I didn't make this up. This is directly from the tool. How about how to garden for beginners? You think gardening is a big niche? Do you think all the hardware stores have such a huge gardening section because gardening is not a good niche, right? About how to golf for beginners. Another good one. How to get 360 waves for beginners. I have no idea what how to get 360 waves is, but Google said it was so important that it suggested it as a search. Had never heard of this before I did this search. I still don't know what 360 waves is. How to grow bonsai trees for beginners. If any of you have worked on bonsai trees, you understand how difficult they are to maintain and why so many people are actually doing a search for this in Google. How to gym workouts for beginners. You think those people are getting ready to spend some money on something? Absolutely, they are. So, some power words can show you who is further down the sales cycle and closer to the sale. The closer to the sale they are, the more money you're going to make faster. So let's look at some examples. How to X faster. Someone who says, I want to do X faster tells you they're already doing it, but they want to do it faster. How about how to X better? Easier way to X, right? The person who's already doing it is the easiest person to sell to. You know, sometimes my absolute best offline client is not someone who doesn't have a website. It's someone who already has a website, but they need a better one. I don't have to convince them they need a website. Okay? So keywords like this show that they are already doing something and they just want to go to the next level. So these are awesome. So we like to say in marketing, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Now, people closer to the sale. Let's look at some examples. How to get pregnant faster. I plugged this into the tool, and this is one of the results it gave me. How to get pregnant faster. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I know the answer to this one. There's a really easy solution to getting pregnant faster. Unfortunately, this is one of those products or services my wife just won't let me offer. But I know what the answer is. How to burn fat faster. Is that a great keyword for a weight loss product? How to grow hair faster. If you're struggling with hair growth, would you not want to learn how to grow hair faster? How do I make my computer faster? Talk to anyone who's ever struggled with a slow computer, and you understand the pain here. Which is funny, 10, 15 years ago, our computers, even the slow ones now, are much faster than the fastest ones then. But people, this is a huge pain. Easier way to learn Spanish. Is Spanish a huge market? Absolutely it is. So moving away from markets are great because the pain already exists. People will do anything to get rid of pain. If you've ever had back pain, you'll know that you would have done anything to get rid of that pain. So here's some examples of moving away markets. Get rid of back pain. Get rid of tummy fat fast. Get rid of stretch marks fast. Someone who just had a baby, what's the first thing they want to do after losing the baby weight? They want to get rid of the stretch marks. That's a very painful thing for women who just had babies. Get rid of toenail fungus fast. People who have toenail fungus, do you want to walk on the beach with your sandals? No, you're embarrassed about that. So how to get rid of blackheads on nose fast. These are actual searches I pulled from Google. I wanted to show you guys the actual things people are looking for. So the questions that you want to ask yourself is this. What do people worry about? What keeps them up at night? What stresses them out? Here's one. What is embarrassing to them? If you've got a blackhead on your nose, if you've got pimples on your face, is that embarrassing? Because if it's embarrassing, you will spend any amount of money on the solution. Look at Proactive and how much money they make. What are they already spending money on? I want to see where the money already is, and I want to keep going in that direction. So, problem must already exist. Don't try to solve tomorrow's problems. You want to solve the problems that already exist, and they're already looking for a solution. Must be their problem, not yours, of course. It's got to be a problem that they have. And remember this. Human nature is not about being proactive. People are not proactive, they're reactive. In other words, they spend more time and energy solving a problem than they do preventing a problem. So let's look at an example here. Be happy versus overcome depression. There's a whole lot more people who want a solution to overcoming depression than there are people who want to learn how to be happier. Okay? If you created a product in the realm of being happy, you're going to struggle to make sales. But if you create a product that is overcome depression, you can make a ton of sales. Believe me, I'm in that market. Okay? Now, where can you find specific markets to go after? Now you're saying, okay, how do I find some of these markets? Number one, go to magazine.com. Basically, go to magazine.com and look at different magazines. Magazines exist because of advertisers, and advertisers exist because people are buying product. So if there's a lot of magazines on a particular topic, that tells you that's a huge market. There's a lot of money to be made there. Another website you want to use is nextmark.com. People who sell a lot of product will sell their databases to Nextmark. So go in and type in weight loss, for example. You'll see lists that have 3, 4, 5 million people. So do some keyword searches and you'll see how big different markets are based on the size of some of the buyer databases that exist in Nextmark. This is a screenshot here off of magazine.com. Who would have thought quilting is such a big market? Quilting and knitting. Look at how many magazines are in the quilting niche. We've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 10 in quilting. Now, I didn't know how big quilting was until one of my students told me about a sewing machine that she bought, that she was really, really after this sewing machine to help her with her quilts. Guys, let me ask you a question. She bought this really nice sewing machine. What do you think she paid for this really nice sewing machine? Type that into the chat box. Let's see what you guys think. Dennis says 600. Ann says 3,000. We've got 1,000. Paul says 700. Ron says 450. Richard says 250. Yvonne says 800. Mel says 250. Mahesh says 800. Raj says 400. I mean, you guys were along what I thought sewing machine cost. You guys ready for this? She bought it used for $12,000. Brand new, it's $30,000. Let me repeat that. She bought it used for $12,000. Brand new is $30,000. Natalia says, OMG. That's what I said. And the minute she told me that, I said, oh, there is money in this niche if people are spending $30,000 on a sewing machine. Carter says, does it sew by itself? I'm thinking it should have made breakfast and pulled the car around in the morning for her. Right? If you're going to pay $30,000, it might as well pull the car around in the morning. It didn't make sense to me. But sometimes you can't understand people in irrational markets. This is an example of complete irrationality. Who buys a sewing machine for $30,000? Right? So, Carter says drive it too. I agree with you. You come around the corner and the car is being driven by a sewing machine. So that goes to show you what markets can be like. So far we've identified our markets. Now let's identify the niche. So identifying your niche answers the question, what do I sell to those people? So I've identified who they are. Now the question is, what do I sell you? Okay? So examples of market versus niche. Your market is people who want to lose weight. That's your market. That's your universe. The niche becomes people who want to increase their metabolism. Okay? That's the niche inside the market. Another example of a market is people who want to learn a language. The niche becomes people who want to learn Spanish, people who want to learn Portuguese, people who want to learn Italian. Those become your niche. So what can you sell to the market? You can sell anything. we're on a webinar right now. This training is about marketing and selling products. So the most important thing we want to sell is information products. That's the easiest. It's the easiest to create. It's the easiest to deliver. And it's the most profitable. Okay? And it can be in the form of ebooks, courses, video tutorials. Any of it falls under that scape. Then you have affiliates. Basically, as an affiliate, you're selling somebody else's products in exchange for a commission. I have products I promote as affiliates. I've got affiliates who promote me. What I like to do is I like to sell my products on the front end, and I like to back end affiliate offers from my affiliates. Okay? You've got CPA. CPA stands for cost per acquisition. Basically, that's like affiliate offers, but it's lead generation. You're generating a lead. Again, I have no problems with doing CPA offers. I like to do them on the back end. I like to get the sale first, then I will promote CPA and affiliate offers. You've got physical products. Physical products is one of the easiest things to sell, whether it's on Amazon, whether it's on your website, however you want to do it. Listen, I've sold pinball machines, okay? Pinball machines. I've sold pool tables, DVDs, all kinds of things. Physical products are fantastic. And then you've got software. Software is just beautiful. And the reason why software is beautiful is it's easy for the consumer to make the connection. The software does X. Either you want X to be done or you don't. It's that simple. Okay? So very easy to sell software. What I like best in terms of the formula, I like low cost, high margin, high perceived value products that I own. That's where you're going to make the most of your money, and then you go in and you back in a lot of other products as well. So the easiest way to identify a niche is by following the money. Follow the zeros, folks. That's it. You follow the money, you're going to find the hot markets that are out there. Study what other advertisers that are being marketing, or study what advertisers are marketing consistently. In other words, look at who's spending money in advertising. Don't just look at the people who are doing organic stuff, because I have no idea if they're making money or not when they're doing it organically. But I do know if you're spending $2,000 a day on advertising and you've been doing that for the last 30 days and you're using the same ad, guess what? That ad is performing for you and you're making some money. Okay? And I'm going to study that. So they will tell you exactly what you should sell. The other thing is, use the forums. There's a lot of forums out there that you could use. I'm going to tell you how you're going to find the forums. You're going to go into Google. You're going to do this. You're going to type in your keyword. You're going to hit space, and you're going to type the words in URL : forum. Let me repeat that. Keyword space in URL : forum. So let's look at a keyword and show you what that looks like. Let's say you want to find the forums that have to do with weight loss. And again, we're looking to go into forums to see what people are talking about. So we type in weight loss, space, in URL, forum. And by the way, we put quotations around the keyword if it's more than one word, because that guarantees those two words will be together in that forum. So an example that came up when I did this is bodybuilding.com. We're going to look at that in a second. I'm going to show you how powerful what I just showed you is. So the other thing you want to do is look for authority websites. Golfnow.com, which probably gets a couple million unique visitors per month. Do you think they've figured out what the people are looking for and what's important to the marketplace? Yeah, absolutely. So follow the authority sites. They'll tell you exactly what products and what you need to market. Okay? Yahoo Answers is another really good one. So here's a screenshot of bodybuilding.com. Now, look at the numbers here, folks. The first one here, the first forum or first thread there is for teen bodybuilding. I want you to look at how powerful this is. Look at the number of threads. There's 659,546 threads. There are 8.4 million posts in the teen bodybuilding category. How many of you ever thought teen bodybuilding was a big niche like that? Never occurred to me until I went to this forum and saw that and said, holy cow. Let's look at some of the other ones. How about Over the age 35, 66,000 posts, 2.4 million, 66,000 threads, 2.4 million posts. Wow, what an interesting category. People who want to lose weight after the age, not lose weight, but build muscle after the age 35. Who would ever thought that was a market? But it is. How about female bodybuilding, right? 70,000 threads, 1.6 million posts. That's a lot of people. Powerlifting? Now, let's look at the smallest one on the page. Personal trainers. 12,000 threads, 103,000 posts. Now, some of you are saying, yeah, I'd never focus on that one. There's no money to be made, but let me tell you why it might be reversed. Who has the biggest problem? The teenager who wants to build muscle or the personal trainer who wants to build their business? Who has the bigger problem? That personal trainer will spend thousands of dollars to learn how to build their business, yet the teenager may not spend thousands of dollars to build muscle. Not at one shot. So looking at this, that smaller category might be the one with the most rabid buyers. Now, you may make the same number of sales as in the teen because of the volume, but that smaller one takes a whole lot less work to turn it into a profit. Okay? So far, you've learned how to identify your market and identify your niche. Now, let's test the marketplace. Is the marketplace any good? Right? I don't believe in doing any work. I don't believe in running an ad until I know I'm going to make money. That's my philosophy. So how do we do that? Testing your market lets you know whether you should or should not move forward with this project. Okay? So 3 steps. Step 3, testing the market. First thing you want to do in testing the market is find what's already working. That's the easiest way to test the market. Don't go into a market where you're going to say, no one is selling this. I'm a genius. Nobody is selling this. I'm going to make so much money because I've got zero competition. That's not where you want to be. So find what's already working. Look at ClickBank. Look at some of these other websites. Look at offers that are being promoted successfully. Look at, the JVZoos of the world. Look at what the offers that make product of the day. That's going to tell you whether you should or should not go into that marketplace. Right? Study your competition, as I said, and the most important thing is see if you can find where they're advertising. That's the most important thing, is where are they marketing and selling their product. Step 2 in the testing process is simple. Ask the marketplace, hey, I'm about to launch this product. What do you guys think? Right? Do a survey. I've got one particular product we're getting ready to launch. We had a survey. And you heard Sarah say it also in the beginning of the webinar, how she did a survey to her folks about, what do you want to learn traffic or pay traffic? And everyone said, absolutely, right? I did a survey for one particular offer. We had 15,000 people tell us what they wanted, what their biggest problem is. So the next thing is, okay, if they're telling me this is their biggest problem, maybe I should create that product. So do a survey, ask people, what is it your problems are, what are you spending money on, where do you plan on spending money, right? And then you gauge the response. If the response is good, you go on to the next step. And that next step in the testing process is see if they're willing to spend money. And the way that you do that is you promote somebody's product as an affiliate. If you buy product X as an affiliate, then you will buy product mine as the owner. And to give you an example, so I told you we did 15,000 surveys. The first thing I did is I pulled the first product in ClickBank that I can promote to this list that matched what they told me they were looking for. I sent out an email, and the email said this, and I quote, you may be interested in this. And it was a link to my ClickBank ID. Guys, do you think you can send out an email that says you may be interested in this? If you can, type an amen in the chat box. That's all the email said. You may be interested in this. Within a week, we had over $7,000 in sales. So what does that tell you about the market or the product that I'm thinking about creating? They want it. Remember, I'm only getting 50% commission as an affiliate. If it was my own product, I could have been, $15,000, $20,000 in total revenue. So see if you get sales. Now, If I didn't get any sales from doing that email, the next thing I would have said was, let me try a different ClickBank product. Maybe this offer is not converting very well, or my list doesn't like it. Okay? Now, if I did a second email and they still don't want it, how long does it take to send out an email? 5 minutes. If they still don't want it, move on. It's not a good sign. They don't want that product. Don't get married to offers that don't work. Move on. They don't want it. You cannot convince the marketplace. Remember, the problem must already exist. Okay? Now, the next thing is on the thank you page of your surveys, put affiliate offers there as well. Works amazingly, amazingly well. So far, we've identified our market, identified your niche. Now we've tested the market, and things are looking good. Things are looking really good. So we move on to the next step, which is creating our product. Your product is nothing more than the vehicle to exchange value, i.e. money. That's all your product is. It's just a vehicle for the money exchange. So creating your product. Money is made in the market, not in the product. If you're spending your time, all your time in product creation and looking for products, you're making a colossal mistake. Money is made in the market, not in the product. Most people do this in reverse. They pick a product and then they sell, let me figure out how I'm going to sell it. It doesn't work like that. Notice product creation for me is the fourth step in the process. It's not the first step. I don't care about what the product is when I'm starting. Doesn't matter. Okay? So once I find a hot market, I can sell anything I want. Doesn't matter. Because I've identified the people who are rabid. I've identified the people who are willing to buy. Doesn't matter what I sell. I can always find something to sell. So what you want to do, you're going to spend 80% of your time in market research and finding your traffic and only 20% of your time in product development. If you can outsource that, that's fantastic. Sarah's got a great program where you can promote her products. You want to make sure you're in there. Right? Because you don't have to worry about the product creation. You can just focus on the marketing. That's where the money is. So different product types. You've got ebooks, newsletters, CDs, DVD, home study course, coaching, membership sites. I love membership sites. You can do any of these. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The only difference between the ebook and the membership site is the value. Ebook is a one-time $20-30. Membership site is $50 to $100 a month. They give, and it's the same content, it's just different value is placed on different things. That's all it is. It's the exchange of value. That's all your product is. So how do you create a product fast? I'm going to tell you. The last product I just created, a piece of content, it took me 35 minutes to record it, and I paid someone on Fiverr $10 to transcribe it, and I paid someone else $25 to edit into content. You're talking a total of $35 and 30 to 40 minutes of my time. This offer, this product is going to be worth about 5 to 6 figures a year. Would you be willing to invest $35 plus half hour of your time to make 6 figures? I hope the answer is yes. So how do you create product fast? Easy. Don't create it the hard way. Do it the easy way. Let somebody else do all the work for you. So where can you get some of this content? First of all, look at the products who are on the market. That's another reason we go into markets where there's competition. They're telling me what my content needs to be. The other thing that I like to do is go to Amazon and look at the reviews. But when you look at the reviews, look at the negative reviews first. Because the negative reviews in Amazon tell you what's missing. It tells you what should be added in the product that is currently not there. Those people are telling you exactly what you need to do to have a 5-star product. So study the negative reviews. The next thing is outsourcing. The third mantra I have, so number 1, start from a position of success. Number 2, don't create the product until I know I'm going to make money. Number 3, don't do the work. Outsource it. I like to use Odesk.com. I like to use Guru.com for content, and I also like to use Elance.com for softwares and scripts and plugins and things like that. So Odesk and Guru for content, and Elance for softwares and scripts that I sell. The other thing you can do is this little website called idictate.com. It's a little secret website. You talk on the, they give you a phone number, right? You talk on the phone, and what's going to happen is you hang up the phone when you're done talking, and everything you said on the phone, they send you a Word document in the mail. You can literally type a book using iDictate.com. I actually typed a chapter of a book while I was on the highway in my car driving to my in-laws. I had my notes on a piece of paper. I picked up the phone. It was a 1-hour drive. I talked for 45 minutes until we got to my in-laws. I hung up the phone. When I got home the next day, there was a chapter of my product, all done and ready to go. So iDictate.com will do that. It's cheap too. It's only a penny or 2 pennies a word. So far we've identified our market. We've identified our niche. We've tested your market. Market looks good. Now you've created your product. Now what we want to do is we want to create our funnel. And our funnel is a very, very important piece of the traffic process, because without a good funnel, your traffic means nothing. And let's give you an example. So your sales funnel is nothing more than the process that you use to take a person from being a prospect to becoming a profitable customer. That's all the funnel is. And I'm going to show you a wrong way and a good way for doing a funnel. The normal way, this is what you normally see on the internet right now. You see an ad, you then go to a web page, and then you see an order button. An ad, a web page, an order button. Every major corporation, that's what they do. Let me ask you, did you meet your significant other and 10 minutes later ask them to marry you? Why on earth are you doing this on the internet? This is what people are doing. So that's what we call the wrong way. Let's show you the right way. The right way is an ad to a free or low-cost offer, maybe an ebook or something like that, or maybe a free report, and then you have an immediate upsell. From that immediate upsell, you take them to your autoresponder. From your autoresponder, you have more emails that will go out, or more offers that will go out in your email. You're on this training right now. Wasn't it email that brought you here? So if you doubt that it works, you are here because of this strategy. Okay? And then you email a third offer, and then you promote somebody else's offer. Right? First offer yours, second offer yours, third offer somebody else's. Okay? Let's do the math and see what the numbers look like. These are real-world numbers from some of my products. So let's say you're paying 10 cents a click. You guys know I love paid traffic. I think that's the best way to drive traffic. Do you think I sold 100,000 products online because I was doing SEO? There's no way I could have scaled it that much. The only way I was able to do that was by buying the traffic. Okay? That's how I sold so many units. So let's say you're paying 10 cents a click for your visitors. You got 10,000 visitors. At 10 cents a click means you paid about $1,000. Let's say you're selling a $50 product. Okay, so your product is $50. You get a 1% conversion rate, which is pretty decent. You've got a 1% conversion rate. And let's look at the math. So 10,000 visitors is going to cost you $1,000, basically 10 cents times 10,000. 1% conversion rate means that 1% of 1,000 people is 100. Okay? Then you're going to get a 100 sales at $50 equals $5,000 in sales. Okay? Question is that good? How would you like to make $5,000 in sales? You spent $1,000, you made $5,000. I would do that all day long. Okay? But let's see if we can do it the right way, an even better way. Okay? So let's look at this now. Again, we're still paying 10 cents a click. We're still selling a $50 product. We're still at the 1% conversion rate. But now we've added an upsell. Immediately after they place that order, we're going to give them an upsell, which is $75. We're then going to give them a second upsell, or maybe a downsell, which is for $100. And then we're going to promote an affiliate offer via email, which is $497. This is the math that most people never make. We're going to do that math and let you see what it looks like. Now, we're still paying 10 cents a click. We're still a $50 product, 1% conversion. We get one, so out of the 100 sales, you're going to get one upsell, which is a 30% conversion, right? So that's 30 sales. You're going to get your second upsell is, first upsell is a 30% conversion, which is 30 sales. Your second upsell is a 10% conversion, which means you're going to make 3 sales. And your affiliate offer gets you a 5% conversion rate. You get 100 people on a webinar. So that means you're going to make 5 sales. Let's see what the math looks like now. So 10,000 visitors costs you 1,000. Whoops. 1% conversion equals 100 sales. 100 sales at $50 equals 5,000. You still make the same $5,000. That doesn't change. But the upsell now, you're getting 30 sales at $75, because 30% upsell rate at $75 equals $2,250 additional. Now, your second upsell, you're making 3 sales because 10% of them take your secondary upsell. That's at $100, that's $300, and now your promotion, you've got 5 sales at $497, which is $2,485. Now, instead of $5,000 in sales, you're now at $10,035. You didn't get more traffic. You didn't even change your product. All you did was you changed the sales funnel. Now you added upsells into your sales funnel. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you're willing to start with an offer that you're going to give them for free and just charge them for shipping, you can triple these numbers. Okay? Why? Because now your front-end conversion is going to be 10% to 20%, not 1 to 2 to 3%. Okay? That's how powerful a free plus ship offer is. So the question is that better? It's infinitely better than 5,000 is good, but 10,000 is infinitely better for the same amount of traffic, for the same amount of advertising. So, as you can see here, a very basic, simple change in your sales funnel and sales process can turn you from making a few sales into a 6-figure business instantly. You don't have to be good at marketing to do this. Okay? That's what understanding the sales funnel and how to use the sales funnel can do for you. Let's look at a golf example here. You give away a free bag of tees. What do golfers do? They play golf. They need tees. So they go to Google, they say, buy tees. And if they see an ad that says, buy these tees for $10, and then they see your ad that says, we'll send you the tees for free, who do you think they're going to click on? They're going to click on yours because yours is a way more attractive offer. But don't worry, you're not going to lose money on the tees. Why? Because you're going to charge them for shipping and handling. You can get a bag of tees for 50 cents, but you're charging them $6 for shipping and handling. You're making profits. But what happens immediately on that thank you page? You're going to start the upsell. Upsell number 1, upsell number 2. So you give away a free bag of tees. You have an instant upsell for maybe a course called Golf Swing or Improving Your Golf Swing. You charge them $50 for that. Then you may have an upsell which is how to build your golf muscle. That's $75. And maybe another one which is drive for show, putt for dough. Only golfers will know what that means. You can sell that for $100. And then you're going to have a golf weekend somewhere that you're going to charge them $497 for. Do you see? That's a funnel, folks. It's not go to my webpage, click the order button. This is a funnel. So far we've identified your market, we've identified your niche, you've tested the market so you know you're going to make some money, you've created your product, but now you've figured out how to take this from me making a couple sales to, hey, I can turn this into a 6-figure business. Now the answer is traffic. Now we got to get eyeballs. We got to get people to our offer. Now, question is, what are the top best ways to drive traffic as an internet marketer? There's a lot of ways you can drive traffic, but let's focus on what's going to be good for internet marketers. We've got Google AdWords. Absolutely love it. I love YouTube. YouTube is absolutely fantastic, but I'm going to change your mind today about YouTube. We've got offline newspaper classifieds. I know you're thinking, he must be crazy. Newspaper classifieds? 100%. Newspaper classifieds are absolutely fantastic. You've got Facebook, you've got affiliates, you've got something called what I call direct buys. Direct buy is I go to someone and I buy that traffic. In a little bit, I'm going to give you that secret strategy that I told you about, and it's going to be how do I do direct buys, okay? Now, all of these are great, but I'm going to tell you the ones I love the most: AdWords, YouTube, and by AdWords, I also mean Bing and Yahoo. So PPC doing, the major search engines, YouTube, and Facebook. But the one fundamental thing that I like in PPC from Google and also Bing over Facebook is in Google, they're searching for me. In Facebook, I got to search for them. Now, I still love Facebook, but that's the only advantage I'm going to give YouTube and search traffic is that they are looking for me. Now, YouTube, we're talking about the paid side of YouTube, not the organic side. We're talking the paid side of YouTube. This is what I call the new AdWords. This, right now, is where Google AdWords was in 2001. How would you like to go back 14 years in time and get on Google AdWords in 2001 where the average cost per click was 2 to 3 cents? How would you like to do that now? How many of you would have started your internet business 14 years ago if you know what you know now? You have that opportunity right now with YouTube. Now, my question is, why waste your time with the organic YouTube when you can buy your traffic and rank instantly? That's what the paid YouTube does. So YouTube is a search engine just like Google is a search engine. Google and YouTube have complex algorithms to rank videos. And so ranking for a good YouTube, a good keyword, it's not that easy. It takes work. Right? Try ranking for the keyword weight loss in YouTube. You better be ready to give up at least a year of your life to do that. Right? But the answer is not to rank in YouTube. The answer is to buy your traffic from YouTube. It's the exact same customer. The only difference is they clicked on your video on the right versus clicking on it in the organic listings. That's it. It's the same customer. So why paid YouTube? It's instant traffic, folks. You can create your account at 3 o'clock, and within 24 hours, you could have 1,000 people have visited your video. Videos are engaging. YouTube did not, Google didn't buy YouTube because videos don't work. 42 hours of video is watched every second in YouTube. So we know video is engaging. We know it's the future. Video has much higher conversion rate. Why does a video have much higher conversion rate? That's because you can express yourself. People can view in different modalities. So they not only get to see it, but they also get to hear it. So the brain absorbs it more. Okay? Much higher conversions. And on top of that, right now, there's almost zero competition. For major markets that you would say, I would never go into the make money niche. I would never buy traffic in the internet marketing niche because of the cost. Well, in YouTube, you can get that for a couple pennies. So it's awesome. And the awesome part is the volume is insane. Absolutely insane, the number of people who are actually viewing YouTube. So, as I said, fantastic source of traffic. So let's take a look. Most people struggle to get YouTube traffic because they're trying to rank their videos. Let's say there's an offer coming out. They want to be an affiliate. They go in and say, let me rank. Let me get some backlinks. Let me do the social bookmarking. Let me do this. Let me cross my fingers and hope to God that I'm going to get up to the top of YouTube. And that's a challenge. So don't rank your videos, buy them. What you want to do is run what we call a sponsored video. And YouTube puts your video at the top right above everyone else. That's what happens when you run a sponsored video. So let's show you an example. While everyone is fighting for ranking, you get there instantly. So here's an example. As you can see here, this is for the keyword weight loss. I typed in the keyword weight loss into YouTube, and as you can see, there are ads or videos on the right-hand side. The one that is circled is an ad, and the only reason you can tell that it's an ad is because of the word ad in orange and very tiny little orange block. Besides that, there's nothing else that separates this from the other ones on the page. But here's the important key, folks. Notice he's in the #1 spot. #1. That's what buying your traffic on YouTube does. It gives you instant #1 ranking. Now, look at the number of views this video has, 472,000. The next one has 2.1 million, 499,000, 169, 212. His video at the top has more views than the bottom two combined because they're struggling to get that traffic. The one that has 2.1, I'm going to tell you they've got 2.1 million, which is fantastic, but that probably took a lot of work to do that. The top one, couple minutes worth of work. Now, let's look at the ad itself. Men over 40 get ripped. Now, two things. Number one, how on earth did he know I was over 40? Number two, how did he know I was a man? And number three, how did he know I wanted to get ripped? Right? The third one, okay, that's a guess. Every man over 40 wants to get ripped, right? That's our goal once we start to hit the 40s. But the reality is this. How does he know I'm a man? How does he know I'm over 40? Do you remember when you created your Gmail account, Google said to you, are you male or female? What's your birth date? Where do you live? And are you male or female? Right? So what do you think is happening? YouTube is allowing us to use that data to segment and target our audience. If he wanted to do an ad for women over 40, do you think he might show himself with his shirt off like that, ripped like a guy? No. He may have a woman there, although most women might think that's sexy. We don't know. But he may have a picture of a female who's there exercising. If he wants to say women in your 60s want to get ripped, do you think he's going to show himself in his 30s ripped and buff like that? It will never identify with the marketplace. So he can significantly target his ads to the people based on demographics. Folks, that is powerful. So not only do I know who you are, I know what you typed into Google. Think, or I shouldn't say Google, in YouTube, think of how powerful that is. Now, the next ad you're going to see is this one. On the left-hand side there, when you go to watch a video, these are what we call the pre-rolls. In other words, this video is playing before another video. Now, let me tell you why I don't like these videos for two reasons. I don't like to run ads here for two very specific reasons. Number one, this video here, they weren't looking for me. They're going about their business, watching something else, and here I am interrupting them and saying, hey, pay attention to me. As you can see, there's a big skip button there. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to click the skip button to go to the video that they wanted to go to. They weren't trying to come to me, right? So it's a pattern interrupt. The second issue that I have with this video here is you have to take this ad here has to go to a landing page. See, on the top right, when they click on any of those videos, it starts to play your video, and they watch your video and your call to action. On the left-hand side, you've got to take them to a landing page. Let me tell you why that's important. That landing page needs to be Google compliant. You've got to go through all the steps that Google wants you to do. On the right-hand side, I can put my web address inside of my video or inside of my description, and if I want to take them to the most uncompliant squeeze page on the planet, I can do that. Right? Because they didn't go from my ad to my landing page. So for anyone who's ever been Google slapped and had those kinds of issues, this is one of the ways you get that traffic and fix that problem. So some of you advanced folks, you probably just said, holy cow. You're probably, wide awake right now. So there's three ways that you do your targeting when it comes to videos. Number one is what we call search. You tell YouTube, here's my keyword. People who type in this keyword show my video. They type in weight loss. Your video is going to show because you're bidding on the keyword weight loss. If they type in fat burner, if you did not bid on the keyword fat burner, in other words, if you don't tell YouTube, if they type in this keyword fat burner, your video is not going to show. Your video does not exist to them. So the number one way is keyword, and you'll do your keyword research just like you normally do with other marketing strategies. The second way is what we call display content. What display content is this: anyone that has a video that has to do with weight loss, you're telling YouTube, show my video next to theirs. So in other words, YouTube is going to decide in all of their database of videos which are the ones that have to do with weight loss, and they're going to play your video and show it to those people watching those videos. The only problem with that is now you're letting the machine do the thinking. You're letting YouTube decide where those videos are going to be played. Now, if you've got a really, really good converting offer, then go for it. But if your offer is not there yet, don't go and display content, because you're going to be seen in some places you don't want to be seen. Option 3. Now, this one I call stealth marketing. Let me ask you guys a question. Type your answer into the chat box. I've got a list, one of my mailing lists that I have in a very, I shouldn't say a small niche, it's a pretty good sized niche outside of the internet marketing space. I've got about 400,000 people on that mailing list, okay? If you have a product that would be perfect for that niche, how many of you would accept the mailing from me to promote your offer to my 400,000 people? How many of you would say yes to that? Mikhail says, I would accept. Alfred says, yes, of course. John says, yes. Ryan says, yes, please. Joshua says, yes. Yeah. Who would say no? You're reaching 500,000 people. I'd say yes in a heartbeat. The problem is you always got to go out and try to find, someone that has lists like that that can promote you. What if I told you there's a way that you can do this every day, all day, and get access to that list without the list owner even knowing? How many of you guys would want to learn how to do that? Joshua says, how? Mahesh says, tell me now. It's easy, folks. You can do it in YouTube. I'm going to show you something right now that's so powerful you ain't going to sleep tonight. You can actually have access to huge lists using YouTube. And let me show you how. There's something called related videos. This is the third way you can target your ad. You tell YouTube to place your video and show your video whenever someone is watching one of your competitors or some other video. In other words, someone is watching video X, and you tell YouTube, anytime someone is watching video X, put my video right next door. McDonald's and Burger King perfected this. I should say Burger King perfected this model. Burger King's marketing model was, wherever there's a McDonald's, we're going to open up across the street. That's all they did. Wherever there's a McDonald's, we're going to open up across the street. This is exactly what we're doing, except our competitors has no idea that we're doing this. So remember this guy, right? Look at his ad. How many views does he have? 470,000 views on this video. So what I basically would do is I'm going to tell YouTube, anytime someone is watching his video, anytime someone is watching this video here that he's paying for, he's done the research for, he's done the work, he's done the testing, he's done the tweaking. Anytime someone's watching that video, I want you to put my video on the top right next to his. So what does that mean for you? That means when he puts this video up and gets 470,000 views, that means you instantly get 470,000 impressions to your video as well. How crazy is that? So you're letting your competition do all the work, and you're looking for your competitors that have huge channels. Why? Because, let me tell you, every time your competitor uploads a video into their channel, first of all, what are subscribers in a channel? Subscribers to your channel is a mailing list, right? Every time your competitor uploads a new video, YouTube sends a message to their subscribers that says, Bob just uploaded a new video. Go watch it. I've seen people go from 0 to 100,000 views on their videos in less than 6 hours. Why? Because they have 1 million subscribers to the channel. What happens if your video is right there alongside? That means you get access to their 2 million people. Right? How crazy and how awesome is that from a marketing strategy? You let them build the channel, you let them build the subscribers, they've done all the work, and all you're telling YouTube is whenever that message goes out and someone comes to watch their video, put mine right next to it. So you have access to their list without doing the work. Guys, how awesome is that? So let's talk about volume and cost. Right? You can go from 0 to 1,000 views in just a day. It's very easy to do that. And in some of the most competitive markets that I'm in right now, I'm paying anywhere from 2 to 10 cents a view. The same markets on Google, I'm paying 50 to 70 cents a view. That gives you an idea of how significantly cheaper it is buying the traffic from YouTube than it is from Google. So far, you've identified your market. You've identified your niche. We've tested the market, so that's great. We've created our product. We've created our funnel, and we drove cheap traffic. We're making money. Now, how do we go to the next level? We scale. And scaling basically means place your offer everywhere, because at this point, your offer's already working. You've tested it all. You've got a well-oiled machine. All I have to do now is place it everywhere. Remember I talked about the multi-channel discipline? Now I'm on Facebook. Now I'm on YouTube. Now I'm on Twitter. Now I'm on Pinterest. Now I'm on Instagram. Now I'm everywhere because my offer is working. Okay? That's what scaling is. Let me ask you guys a question. And I love to ask this question. Who here is an out-of-the-box thinker? If you're an out-of-the-box thinker, say, I am an out-of-the-box thinker. Right? Will says I am. He is the most out of the box because he was the first one. Paul says I am. Stuart says I am. Absolutely. But I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I'm going to test you in a second, okay? Are you an out-of-the-box thinker, or are you thinking next to the box? Most of us, the problem is we're still thinking next to the box. My question to you is this. What box are you talking about? What box are you thinking about? I didn't even know there was a box. That's how I think, and that's how I look at marketing. So now, let's talk about a secret sauce. This is where I'm going to test you guys to see how well you've learned today. And I want to see what you would do that's going to be an out-of-the-box thing to get business in this market. How would you sell a dog training course? Right? What would you do? If you wanted to sell a dog training course, what would you do? Type that into the chat box. Let's see my out-of-the-box thinkers. Sales funnel, dog ads, free offer, yep. Pitch it to autistic folks for help with kids, okay. Find a successful person already selling. That's a good one, Craig. Go to a dog park. Good one. Sell dog leads. Find dog lovers. Yep. Sell to dog buyers. Eddie, I love that one. Dog owners. Trevor says AdWords. Yep. Actually, the strategy I'm going to give you, I would do with AdWords. Give away free self-lighting vest for dog. Not sure what that is, but if that's something they wanted, I think that would be good. Carter says YouTube. First person to say YouTube. Love it. Google keywords, YouTube. Okay. You guys ready? You got to start with questions. The quality of your life are going to be based on the quality of your questions. Got to ask yourself the right things. Okay. We need to sell our dog training course. But we don't want to bid on the keyword dog training because that's going to be expensive, right? Because everybody's doing that. We need to create what we call our UMP, unique marketing proposition. That's how we market differently. So what are we going to do? We start with the question. Okay, I need to sell my dog training course to people who have dogs. That's number one. And then their dogs need training. Well, let's see. Do I want to sell it to an adult dog or do I want to sell it to a younger dog? Well, it makes more sense. I'm going to get more people who have younger dogs are going to need dog training, because why do I want to advertise to people who have a 10-year-old dog to sell them dog training? There may not be enough of them. So what are younger dogs called? Puppies. Right? Isn't that what we call younger dogs? Okay, so I need to sell my dog training course to people who have puppies. Now, someone who has a puppy, how do I know they just bought a puppy? What are they going to do? They're going to go into Google and they're going to search for what? What are they going to search for? You just bought a puppy. What are you going to search for? What do you guys think? Vacations, chew, dog training, supplies. You guys are getting it right, but you're missing one. Dog collar. You ready for it, guys? Puppy names. Think about that for a second. You just bought a dog, you're going to Google, and you're searching for a puppy name. Anyone searching for a puppy name, I know, just bought a puppy. So what do you think I would do? I would give them a free something on, a free ebook on a list of the top 1,000 puppy names. Enter your name and email address here, and we'll send it to you. Now, puppy training, very expensive, $2, $3 per click. Puppy names, maybe 1 or 2 cents a click. But what do I know about that mailing list? Every single one of those people is going to have a dog that's going to be pooping, peeing, and chewing everything in the house. So a week after I send you the names, hey, I just want to thank you. Did you go through the names? Did you pick out a good name yet? Hey, by the way, are you tired of Fido peeing all over your pillow yet? Because if you are, your dog needs training. You need to train him now before it gets too late. If you wait another couple weeks, he will or she will never get trained. You see how I can go into a market where everyone else is struggling and I can totally dominate that market just by thinking out of the box or away from that box. So what next? First of all, I want to talk about how to build an information marketing empire with easy traffic. And the key is easy traffic. You don't want to do anything that's hard. It's just not my style. ADD keeps me from doing things that are hard. If it's hard, I just can't do it. So we created a training program. It's called the Beginner to Expert Traffic and Information Marketing System. And let me tell you about that program and what's involved. First of all, there's 2 tracks to the training. First part is the training. There's some training that you're going to have access to. The second part is the coaching. And the coaching is the one-on-one. That's me working with you. Because I realized something. A lot of training courses online, you go in and you're watching the training, you're watching the videos, but you're left on your own. And I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be there for you and I wanted to help you. So I'm going to tell you about that and everything that's involved. So what you're going to learn is this. You're going to learn how to market any product online. I don't care what you're marketing, what you want to sell, your own products, DVDs, affiliate offers, physical products, you're going to learn how to do that. Many of you are in Sarah's program, so you're going to want to learn how to scale what you're already doing with Sarah. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. This is going to show you not only how to drive the traffic and scale that, but also how to create what we call the trigger and entry points in the marketplace so you can get a whole lot more sales. I'm going to show you how to find new in-demand products. Nothing to sell, and your question is, but Greg, I don't know what to sell. You will never ever worry about what to sell ever again in your life. That puts you in control and empowers you to take control of your own destiny. Then I'm going to show you how to start a campaign and drive the traffic quickly. Notice every other business models I told you, we went from 0 to 25K in just 2 to 3 weeks. We went from 0 to $3,000 a week in just 2.5 weeks. We went from $900 to $7,000 in sales in 30 days. Notice I didn't say we went from 0 to 25K in a year and a half. We did it quickly. And there's things that are very important to be able to do it quickly. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to model after your competition's winning campaigns and legally steal everything they're doing. Let them do the work. Let them. And we find the ones that are making lots of money and we go in and legally steal what they're doing so we don't have to start over from the beginning. We're going to show you how to write ads that deliver amazing results. Do you know Google AdWords, Facebook, Bing say a good click-through rate, if 100 people see your ad, if you can get 1 to 3% to click on an ad, 1% for a display ad, they consider that fantastic. Folks, I consider that failure. I've got one campaign, my best click-through rate is 27%. I've got others on average that are doing about 7 to 8% on average. That's what I consider good. How to go into large markets and get the clicks cheap. I don't care what market you want to go after. Weight loss, make money. You want to dominate the internet marketing niche? I'll show you how to dominate the internet marketing niche for pennies. Okay, so we'll show you how to go into large markets for cheap. How to deliver your sales message. That's important, folks. Remember I talked about skills? You got to know how to sell. Your web page is an extension of your marketing. It's an extension of your sales. We're going to show you how to do that, the psychology behind winning offers and what you need to do to convert customers very quickly. We're going to show you how to test your offers properly. I'm going to show you an actual survey, and I'm going to show you how I drive traffic to that survey, and then I'm going to let you see how I take the answers from that survey to create the product and sell those people. I let them tell me what I should sell. Okay, we're going to show you that 100% through. I'm going to show you how to go from 0 to full scale in less than 30 days once you've got a working offer. And I'm going to show you much, much more. I promise you this, when you go through my training, a couple things. Number one, you don't want to do it at night because you're not going to sleep. Number two, you're going to become what I call a marketing monster. You're never going to have to struggle and worry, what do I sell and how do I sell it ever again. Now, what's included? We've got an 8-training module course. The first module, we cover all the niche marketing and research process and the testing process. Right from there, we go into what I call the psychology. We call this mindset marketing. And in mindset marketing, what I'm teaching you is when you look at an offer or something you want to sell, how do you go into the mindset of the person that would buy that, and how do you find opportunities that your competitors don't even know exist? Just like we looked at with the dog training and puppy names. That's an example of mindset marketing. I'm going to teach you how to do that in many other different markets. I'm going to give you keyword research. Okay, you need to find the keywords that are going to deliver you immediate profits. We're going to go through the keyword research process. I'm going to show you the 2 tools that I use primarily, keyword research and Google AdWords tool. I'm going to show you how we're using the Keyword Researcher Pro as well as using the Google AdWords keyword tool to significantly expand our markets. Then I'm going to show you how to build landing pages that is 100% Google friendly. Most of the people that got in trouble with Google 4 or 5 years ago was because of their landing pages. I'm telling you, I figured out not only through sweat equity, but with working with Google, what they're looking for in a landing page. I'm telling you, if you want to sell ClickBank products, I can show you how to sell ClickBank products using Google AdWords traffic, because you just have to know how to do the landing pages according to what Google is looking for. Then I'm going to show you the first step in driving the traffic. There's 3 parts. I'm going to show you how to use Google AdWords in Google search to drive that traffic. Again, still a very powerful way to drive your traffic. I use Google AdWords every single day. I'm going to show you the Google Display Network. I'm going to show you the Google Placement Network. And so between those 3, you will be able to drive unlimited search traffic to any offer that you want. Now, but the one I want you to really start with first is going to be YouTube. And the reason I want you to start with YouTube is because it is so darn easy to put a YouTube campaign together. It is so darn easy. I mean, if you've uploaded a video to YouTube, you've done about 50% of the work already, right? Now all you have to learn is the targeting aspect, which we will teach you how to do that. So once you have that, again, that is one of the easiest and the absolute cheapest form of traffic you're going to get, and very powerful in terms of conversion, okay? Then from there, I'm going to show you how to do video sales letters. And you know what I do with my video sales letters? Not only do I have them on my website, but I put them on YouTube. How crazy is that, right? I actually take my video sales letters and I upload them to YouTube. Let me ask you, at the end of the video sales letter, I say, hey, if you want to buy this product, go here and buy it. What's the difference if they're seeing that on YouTube or if they're seeing that on my webpage? There is none. So I'm actually uploading my sales message directly into YouTube. I've got some video sales letters that are as long as 25, 30 minutes in YouTube. Then I'm going to show you how to create a highly profitable sales funnel. We looked at the sales funnel today. I'm going to walk you through the whole process of the sales funnel. That's a very powerful thing for you to learn how to do. And once you learn that, no one can ever take that away from you. Okay? So we're going to go through the sales funnel. I'm going to show you how to find a super hot, profitable niche market. So if you, again, you don't have a market, you don't know what to sell, I'm going to show you how you never have to worry about what do I sell ever again. Then I'm going to show you how to create products in an afternoon. Like I told you, one of the last products we did, 35 minutes of time, about $35, and we plan to do anywhere from 5 to 6 figures with this product. So it only took me about a half hour of my time and $40. I think you guys can spare a half hour of your time to learn how to do that. Now, how is this training delivered? Right now, all the training aspect is pre-recorded. So you're going to log into the members area. You can get started tonight, and you can go through the training and all the modules that we have there. Again, you can go through it immediately right after the training. We have a private questions section. So if you've got a question, just log in and submit that question. It's going to come to me. I answer all of them personally, and I do them myself. I don't have an admin that I outsource that, so you'll get personal answers directly from me. You're going to get lifetime access to the training. So 6 months from now, you want to do a refresher, absolutely, you can go through it. We don't have any problems. As a matter of fact, we're also going to let you share your login with one partner. We all have partners. As a matter of fact, I recommend you get a partner. And the reason is because you may focus on marketing, the other person is focusing on customer service. So projects where I'm working with someone, we purchase a product, and we find out only one of us could ever log into the back end. I didn't want to do that to you. So I'm allowing you to have access to it as well as one of your partners. And so to me, that's important. The other thing is, I talk about the Q&A, submitting your questions. My rule is this: feedback is required. I want you to give me feedback. I want you to ask me questions. And the reason I want that is because the more questions you ask, the better I can make my training, the better I can make the product. Now, the coaching, this is the second track. So the first track is the training. The second track is the coaching. You're going to get one-on-one coaching with me. Remember, I didn't want you to go through this by yourself. I wanted you to go through the training, then we get together, and there's things that I'm going to show you that are going to absolutely knock your socks off when we get on the phone together. That one-on-one session is just me and you on the phone together, and there's things that I'm going to show you that will absolutely knock your socks off. So that's you and I on the phone together. We're going to record it, and then I'm going to send you the recording once we are done. Now, during that training, we're going to go over your exact needs, because your need is different from the next person. Maybe you are struggling with the technology. Maybe you're thinking, I can't do the technology part. Maybe you don't know how to do the research part. Or maybe you're struggling with, what's the first step I do in the traffic part? So that will allow me to work with you one-on-one and solve those issues. I didn't want this to be, hey, here's your training, have a nice day. I wanted this to be a partnership. I'm going to help you out with that aspect of it as well. Now, if you want to work on affiliate CPA offers, you want to promote your own product, you want to do local marketing with local businesses, during that one-on-one training, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you an offer. Remember, I talk about a winning offer? I'm going to show you a secret strategy, a secret offer that is running right now, right? And the thing is, I can only do this on the live training because I'm never going to record this and put this anywhere else. This thing is so powerful that after I show it to you, you can start making money within about 3 to 4 days. And the offer that I'm going to show you that you're going to model after, these guys are spending $14,000 a day in ad spend. Do you think they're making money? What if I give you 100% of the blueprint, 100% of how the money is made. Can you succeed if you have 100% of how the money is made? The answer is yes. Again, this is so powerful, what I'm going to teach you. The only place you're ever going to get this is on that live one-on-one call with me. I will never record that. I will never put that anywhere else because I don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry seeing what I'm going to show you. So, I don't hide, folks. I don't hide. We're going to be working together. You will know by the time we're done, when we are done with your one-on-one training, you will know exactly what to do next. As a matter of fact, I should show you, I wish I had I should have put some of them on my presentation to show you the thank you letters I've gotten from people once we've gone through that one-on-one session. I promise you it's going to revolutionize how you look at internet marketing. The other thing is with me, you have a mentor for life. And by that I mean, you've got a question. Shoot it on over. I'm there for you. And the reason I decided to do that is because I got to where I am because I had people who were willing to help me, people who were willing to teach me things that I didn't know. So for now until the end of time, you've got a mentor, you've got a coach for life. You've got someone you can bounce an idea off of. You got a question for something. You got to, hey, what do you think about this? You can bounce that off of me. And again, somebody and many people did that for me, so I wanted to pay it forward and offer all my students lifetime access to me. Now, if you've got a project next year that, you need a huge AdWords campaign to put together, hey, call me up. I can put that together for you. Well, I'll have to charge you for something like that, but it's absolutely a possibility. You are going to get the exact same system that has helped me sell over 100,000 ebooks and products online without any JVs or affiliates. I'm giving you the exact same system. On top of that, when we get on the phone, I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do the minute we get off that phone. So you're getting, this is it, folks. There is nothing left unturned. There's nothing left behind. Normally, from stage, I sell my course and my training for $2,000 to $3,000, as much as $5,000. That's what we normally sell it for. I mean, what would you pay to have someone show you an offer that can make anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a day? Would that be worth $5,000? Absolutely. So, what I did when I first launched this training program, I went out and I got feedback. Remember I told you feedback is important. I said, guys, tell me what you think. What is missing? What should I change? What should I add? And after doing that, I listened. I listened to what everyone said to me. And what I heard you say was, Greg, I'm looking for a way to create or find product that I can sell fast with traffic that I can afford and is easy to get. I don't have 6 months for SEO. I want it now. And by the way, I'm not necessarily an expert at this. I'm just beginning. And I heard and I listened. So what I did is I went in and I created the beginner to expert traffic and information marketing system. I took out what you didn't need from the program. I took all of that out and I only kept what you needed that would help you accelerate and get moving fast. So this allowed me to discount the program where it's normally $3,000. We discounted it to $1,497. Okay? Now, if you get started within 48 hours of watching this training, I will give you one more huge bonus because you are one of Sarah's prize students. And that is, I'm going to give you an instant discount and take an additional $500 off your investment if you get started within watching this training within 48 hours. So, your investment today, if you get started within 48 hours of watching this training, is a one-time $997. Now, we also have payment options inside the cart. So if you want to make payment options, that is available to you as well. But to get this special price, you got to get started within 48 hours of watching this training. You get the complete training, and you also get access to me one-on-one where you and I are going to start working together. And what you want to do as soon as you get started is you're going to get a call. So make sure you give us the right contact phone number because I like to call and say thank you. You're going to get a call from me that says thank you. Then my admin will set up the time for you and I to get on the phone. But wait, it gets even better than that. let me give you some fast action bonuses. These are good for 48 hours of this training. I'm going to give you all my Google AdWords templates, right? For affiliate offers, for VSLs, video sales letters, as well as what we use to sell information products. These are the exact templates we use. We've got an offer that's going to go live today or tomorrow. This is the exact template I use. If it's good for me, it's good for you. I'm going to give you my secret sauce and my secret template for writing video sales letters. The number one reason I started writing video sales letters, not because of the conversions, was because it was way easier to write a video sales letter than it was to write a full sales letter. And boy, did it convert even more. So I was happy I made the transition. I'm going to give you my exact video sales letter template that we use. I'm also going to give you something called the new affiliate model. If you want to do affiliate marketing, you've got to make it where it's a business. You don't want to just be promoting as an affiliate. You want to make it where it's a business for you. I'm going to show you, using the new affiliate model, how to make affiliate marketing a long-lasting business that gives you an asset that you can sell at some time in the future if you wanted to. The next thing I'm going to show you is the Amazon profit system. A lot of people have been talking about Amazon, right? But there is a section in Amazon that most people don't pay attention to. That is affiliate offers. But not doing affiliates and driving the traffic using Google, that's too hard. What if you drive that traffic using YouTube and the paid side of YouTube? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in the Amazon profit system. Amazing commissions using YouTube videos that you pay 1 penny for to sell something that you make $10, $15, $20 for. Folks, this will knock you off your socks. Then I'm going to show you a friend of mine who I was helping, and I'm going to show you exactly how we drove weight loss traffic to his offer. Where most people were paying $10 to $40 per click, we were paying 7 to 9 cents a click for weight loss traffic that converted like gangbusters. I'm going to give you the whole process, 100%. Okay? Now, don't just copy it, but you'll use that to model after any market that you want to go after. We're also going to give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Go through the training, work with me, get on the phone with me. And if you decide, hey, this is not for me, just allow me to buy the program back for you. But I will tell you this. I've never had a single person in the history that I've been working and teaching people online get on the phone with me actually ever say the words, that wasn't worth it. What I get is, oh my God, you've changed my life. So get on the phone with me, go through the training, let me change your life and show you how to make this internet marketing a huge success for you. Now, remember this, there's only one of me. I'm not going to have you working on the phone with a coach. You're going to be on the phone with me. So that means I am limited to the number of people we can take right now. Right now, I can comfortably handle maybe 20 to 30 people. That's it. After that, we have to shut it down. Typically, it takes us about 3 days to hit our numbers, and then we shut it down. Unfortunately, again, there's only one of me. I wish there was another Greg Caesar that could do the coaching, but there isn't. So that means you've got to take action, and you've got to take action now. Don't wait, because if you do, unfortunately, there's no way that I can make this offer to you and be able to get on the phone with you. I just don't have anybody else that can get on the phone with you. It's just me. So what you want to do right now is go to thetrafficdominator.com/SS. That's thetrafficdominator.com/SS. Remember, there is an option on the page if you want to do payment options as well. Go there now, get yourself started. Let's get on that phone. Let's set up a time, and let me change your mind. Let me go through this journey with you and show you how you can build your internet business. Now, I'm going to show you in just a little bit that secret strategy that I told you about, but let's see if there's any quick couple questions we can answer. Then I'll show you the strategy, and then if we have some time, we'll take a couple more questions. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, yep, absolutely. Okay, so I'm just scrolling through some of the questions. We had a few questions a little bit earlier on, and who was it now? I think it was Greg was getting a little bit confused with buying traffic on YouTube, and I think you basically covered it. But he was just confirming. Okay, so you're not talking about buying views for your videos. So this is something totally separate to that, because you can go onto Fiverr and you can buy views for your videos, can't you?
Correct. So you can go to Fiverr and you can buy views for your videos, and the problem with those views are they're not real views. They're just some robot or someone who's paid someone to go and view. We are buying views on YouTube, but what we're paying for is the actual real people who went into YouTube, they typed in weight loss, and all you're telling YouTube is, instead of putting me number 500 for weight loss, put me number 1, and when someone watches my video, let me pay you a penny for it. That's what we're doing.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, let's just have a quick look. Okay, so Michael is asking about, how do we learn how to actually make our own videos? Is that a difficult thing to do? Will you provide training on that? A little bit of guidance on actually how to create, your own videos to promote affiliate products, let's say.
Oh, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, Mikhail, when we get on the phone, if that's an area that you're struggling with, we can spend more time on that. Any area you feel you're struggling with, we can spend time on that when we get on the phone. And by the way, making your videos is one of the easiest things you can do. That's a good time to use Fiverr if you want to. I've got videos that are from Fiverr. I've got some that I've created myself. But you know where and how I create a bulk of them? I take out my iPad and I record myself talking on my iPad. I don't do professional videos. Don't need it.
Okay. Norman's asking, can you use Skype for the coaching calls?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Alfred's saying, can you monetize your videos? So, in other words, is it possible to upload the videos and get paid for impressions and clicks? I guess that's like the flip side of it, really, isn't it?
You can, and as a matter of fact, one of the things that we teach you is to monetize your video, but I will tell you this. The reason we monetize our videos, basically for those who aren't sure, monetizing your video tells Google they can run ads on your video. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. You're selling, you're promoting product X. Do you really want Google and YouTube showing product Y on your video? And the answer is no. So we monetize them. We tell Google, yes, let's monetize them, because that allows us to pick our own custom thumbnail. You know the thumbnail that you see when you see a video on YouTube? So YouTube lets you choose any picture you want or any headline that you want, right? But you don't turn on the monetization on the video, because you don't want to show somebody else's, potentially your competitor's ad, on your video you're trying to sell something. Now, if you do a video of your dog jumping around and flipping and having a good old time, absolutely, monetize that. But if it's something you're trying to make money on, I don't want YouTube to show my competitor's ad on my video.
Absolutely. Okay, which video software do you recommend to use, e.g. VideoFX, things like that? Is VideoFX any good?
Yeah, VideoFX actually is very good. It's probably the best for the bang that what it can do and what you're paying for it. It's probably the best. Mm-hmm. I have VideoFX, I got Video Sketcher Pro, and I also use one of the paid ones, which is the high-end ones like Powtoons or something to one another, one of those. So I have a few, but I also use PowerPoint and Camtasia. Mm-hmm. Right? So you can do a video really quick with PowerPoint and Camtasia. 10 minutes, you can be done. Boom.
Yeah, that's something actually which I do quite a lot. Actually, the first video product I ever made was with PowerPoint and Camtasia. Really, really simple. Okay, so
my Amazon reviews, the review that I do for Amazon, those are PowerPoint and Camtasia. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Faith is asking, okay, she just wants to be clear about the fact that are you going to be showing kind of like step-by-step videos on how to set up Google AdWords adverts and kind of like also how to monitor your ads, et cetera, et cetera. You know, looked at the Google platform before but find it very confusing and would love to have some simple step-by-step kind of like tutorials to follow.
Even better, you watch me put every single one of the campaigns that I show you, YouTube, display, search, and Google, you actually watch me put them all together. You watch me take the keywords, you watch me add the keywords, you watch me create the campaign, you watch me set the settings, you watch everything.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so Greg is asking, is it possible to put a clickable link on a video? So if you're paying to advertise your video, is it possible to actually have like a clickable link on it?
Absolutely, and guess what that clickable link should be? Your call to action to your shopping cart.
Okay, and that can go like through to a sales page, can it? Yep.
Yep, you can send it anywhere you want to.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Right. Richard's giving you a Skype account. Okay. Already. Excellent. Okay. Okay. Is there going to be a replay? Yes. I have recorded this, so there will be a replay of this. And just to remind you, you know, AdWords. When I first started in 2008, you know, it was I got started at making you know, a lot of money very, very quickly, and that was purely just down to AdWords. And I think, YouTube is kind of like where AdWords was back then. Well, probably even before then. It's an incredibly cheap platform right now to advertise on YouTube. And I think, if you can get in now on the ground floor, you'll be. It's a very, very easy platform to make money on right now, simply because the traffic is so cheap. Okay. Okay, let's just see any more questions. I think that's all the questions at the moment.
Awesome. So let's go. I promised a secret strategy for being on and being here live, right? You guys ready? You want to get a really cool strategy? Type yes in the chat box if you want it.
Okay, we're getting lots and lots of yeses. Mel is saying yes. Paul is saying yes. John is saying yes. Okay, getting tons and tons and tons of yeses at the moment.
Okay, now let me ask you, let's start by asking you guys a question. And that question is this. What is the single most important page on a website? What is the single most important page on a website? Let's see who gets this right. Okay, squeeze page. Annie is the first person to get it right. Congratulations, that is awesome.
You see, I've taught them well.
Yes, and look, Charles too. Wow, you've got some sharp folks there.
And Glenn and Paul.
Yep. Wow, you guys rock. So the answer is the thank you page. You guys know why that's the most important page on a website? It's because who's on the thank you page? It's the action takers. It's the buyers. It's the people who opted in. It's the people who bought the product. That's the only people who see the thank you page. So let me tell you about this strategy. We talked about magazines. Magazines exist because of advertisers. Advertisers exist because the consumers are buying the product. If the consumers aren't buying the product, the advertisers don't advertise. Well, if they're buying the product, then that means they're hitting the thank you page. So what you want to do is this. You want to find people who are advertising, both in publications, offline, newspapers, magazines, as well as people who are advertising on YouTube, Google, all the major brands. What you're going to do is you're going to approach them and you're going to say, hey, I see you're running an ad in such and such publication, assuming the person you're approaching has an audience similar to yours. And you're going to say, I want to know, what would you charge me to advertise on your thank you page? Those people are leaving anyway. Maybe I can offset some of your advertising costs. Notice I didn't say, hey, promote me as an affiliate. I said, what would you charge me to advertise on your thank you page? And they're going to say, I don't know, what do you have in mind? Well, I can certainly pay you $100 a month for the traffic, or I can pay you on a commission/affiliate basis, whichever one makes more sense to you. So while they are running ads and they're paying for the buyers and the non-buyers to hit their landing page, what do you get? You get only the buyers. That's it. Because that's the only people hitting the thank you page. Now, how many people are advertising that you can reach out and do this with? There was one person who was launching a new product, and I said, hey, let me advertise on your thank you page. Allowed me to do so. In 1 year, brought me 700 recurring paying clients. All I had to do was give them a percentage of every sale that came through. I didn't have to do any work. It was coming in like manna from heaven, right? Guys, you could do this today. It doesn't take any thought. It doesn't take any intelligence. It just takes your ability to reach out to someone and say, I see you're spending money. Let me offset it by reaching to the people who are leaving anyway. Guys, what do you think? Is that a good strategy? You think you can see yourself doing that?
Okay, again, lots of yeses there.
Yep. Joshua says, good idea. This is a very, very, very simple strategy that you can use to get quality traffic instantly. I don't care what market you are in. You could do this. So hopefully today what you've noticed is I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to teach you right, and I'm not going to hold anything out. And on top of that, we're going to burn that box. We don't know about that box. I'm going to teach you out-of-the-box strategies that allow you to go into markets and dominate while other people are struggling. That's what I'm going to do for you as we go through this journey. But remember, most importantly, you're not doing this by yourself. I'm there. You've got questions. I'm there to answer them. You'll be surprised how many times you may get a surprise call from me. You just never know. And if you're in town, my rule is if you're ever in the Atlanta market, let me know. We'll go out to lunch. That's my rule. Don't ever come to Atlanta and not let me know you came to Atlanta. I'll be pissed at you. All right? So I don't know if there's any other questions that came through.
We've got a few more questions. Okay, so Paul is actually asking, Paul says, I have a personal YouTube account. I want to keep my internet business separate. Should I set up a new Gmail account, etc.? So do you need like separate YouTube accounts, or should it be a business account, personal account? Should you have multiple accounts?
Yes, so we do have a process for that, and we talk about that in the training, but you definitely want to use a different Gmail account for all the different markets that you're in, but we'll go through how do you select the right email address for those Gmail accounts.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so does YouTube, how do they actually bill you? Are you billed on impressions, on people who click on the link in your video, or are you billed on how many people play your video?
Only on the number of people who play your video, and if they watch less than 30 seconds, you're not charged.
Okay, excellent. And we had another a question earlier. I'm trying to remember who it was from now, but we have a licensed partner team member, and they were actually asking, will I be providing videos to upload to YouTube? So yeah, absolutely. So if you if you purchase today, if you purchase Greg's program, and you're a licensed partner team member, no problem. I can provide you with custom video adverts advertising the squeeze pages, and you can then, all you have to do then is just upload them, and they're kind of like ready to go. Okay, so that's not a problem at all. Okay, let's just have a look. Oh, we've got a load more questions here. Okay. It's been some really cool stuff today, Greg. And,
awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Jennifer says, wow, some amazing content. Thank you very much, Jennifer. That's, yeah, it's been some pretty good stuff today. Okay, are people promoting WSO offers using YouTube? Is that possible?
Yeah, because you have a lot of the WSO, the people who are doing WSO affiliate marketing, YouTube is where they go, but what happens is they're all fighting for the organic traffic.
Yeah.
So if you want to promote internet marketing offers, I am telling you, you're not going to get any better traffic than YouTube. But while everyone else is fighting for the, that 1 through 10 spot on the first page, you get there instantly.
Okay, excellent. So Joe's just a little bit concerned. Joe's saying, okay, fine, if you're going to give us some blueprints on kind of like what's working now, surely you're going to be like creating competition for yourself. So how is that going to work? So how could that work then?
Yeah, because when you figure what I'm giving you is the strategy and the sales process and the psychology that's working now. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do, but you're going to have your own niche market. Maybe you're in weight loss. Do you know in weight loss, there's got to be 1,000 different niches inside of weight loss that you can go after, right? I'm going to show you exactly how I go through the upsell process. I'm going to show you the exact sales funnels and how we use our sales funnels. But you're going to put your product in the sales funnel, and we're going to show you how to pick your own product in your own markets that you're going to go after.
Okay, excellent. So Ian says, I'm in. That's what Ian says. So welcome aboard, Ian. Excellent. Okay. So Melvin's saying, is it possible to kind of like, is it possible to have like a 4-pay arrangement to pay in like 4 chunks, I guess?
I don't have that set up, so I'd have to look at possibly doing that. Just maybe enter your email in the chat or something, and I can look at doing something like that.
Okay. Okay, so Sally is asking, if you're a complete beginner with all of this, is this going to be like too technically difficult to set up? Paid traffic seems very daunting. So is this okay if you're a complete beginner?
Absolutely. Remember, traffic is, like I said earlier, it's abundant. It's there. Once you learn the psychology part, we're going to show you how to spot the winning offers. You don't have to worry about traffic. Secondly is this. Anything that makes you nervous, outsource it. Why struggle with something that you don't want to learn anyway? Outsource it. And we have a whole section on outsourcing. I didn't mention that, but we do have a section that talks about outsourcing and how to go out and hire people to do things for you.
Cool.
Plus, don't worry, we're going to get on a one-on-one call, so when we get on the call, I promise you're not going to have any worries after we go through our training together.
Okay, and Faith says, what if you're not at all a beginner? So let's say you're advanced. Let's say you're quite intermediate already. How would that work?
You probably won't sleep for a year after we get off the phone.
Well, I just want to tell you, Faith, that I've already got the program and I've been looking through it and I'm learning stuff. So you need to remember that even top-end marketers, are still learning every day. We're all still learning stuff. I mean, I'm in the mastermind, and there's about 20 of us in the mastermind. We meet 4 times a year, and we're all doing either $1 million a year or very, very close to $1 million a year dollars. And we're all learning stuff. We're all still buying courses. We're still all buying training courses, learning stuff. It's a never-ending process. We're always learning the latest techniques. And even if you're not a beginner, there's still really good stuff to learn here. And I'm learning lots of stuff here. Okay. 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 So Joe is asking. Thanks for the brilliant webinar. Lastly, can I ask how much ad spend would you be required to kind of like get off the ground? And as ad spend can be a little bit tricky, so are you going to like require thousands of dollars to like make this work?
So I'm gonna tell you something, Joe. I'm a cheapskate. When I start a campaign, my campaign budget is somewhere between $15 and $25 a day. But also remember this: that by the time let me give you an example of an ad that I ran in a newspaper a couple weeks ago. Okay, ran this ad offline. My first ad was a whopping $14. $14 is what I paid for the ad. So I wanted to see if it was working. I got, a really good opt-in rate, and the conversion numbers looked okay. I said, okay, let's run the ad again. Ran the ad a second time. I spent a whopping $14 for the second ad. The second ad duplicated the first number, so that's what I was looking to see. Can I duplicate the numbers? Duplicated the numbers just a little bit less the second time. The third time I said, okay, now it's time to scale. First time looked good, second time looked good, third time it's time to scale. I ran the ad in a larger group. This time I spent $100. And guess what? Those numbers are fantastic. I was telling Sarah at the beginning, we had a 62% opt-in rate, 55% conversion rate. So what's left now is the scale, right? So Joe, let me ask you this question. Your question was, how much should I budget for my ads, right? Now, we only have one problem that we have to fix in this ad, that we have a double opt-in issue with Aweber. We got to fix that. But 62% opt-in rate, 55% conversion rate. Should I be afraid to advertise now? That's the question. Should I be afraid? Reality is every day that I'm not scaling, I'm losing money. So don't focus on that aspect. What you got to focus on is once I found a working offer, which we're going to teach you, right? Once you find the working offer, you're losing money by not spending more money advertising. So by the time you advertise, you already know this is going to work. So me not advertising is a bad thing. That's where we're going to take you to. See, advertising is only a risk when you gamble, when you don't know what's going to happen. When you're saying, I don't know if this is good or not, but what the heck, let me try it. That's a risk. But when you know it's working, you're modeling after something that's already successful and proven to be successful, you have nothing to fear. That's how I've been able to scale so quickly.
Absolutely, and that's exactly how I've always treated paid advertising. You run a very small test, get something working, and then once you get to a stage where, if you put in $100, you get $100 back, you just keep feeding the machine again and again. Sorry, you put in $100 and you get $200 back. You just keep feeding the machine again and again and again. Just, if you had a machine at home and you put $100 in and you got $200 out, you just keep doing it. And really, realistically, that's what paid advertising is all about. And it can be a lot better than that. You can put $100 in, like we're talking about today, and get $300 out. And that's the beauty of paid advertising, and that's why it's so powerful. And that's when you talk to any successful marketer, this is what they're doing. This is what all the top-end people are doing. Okay, so Jack is asking, will this work with pretty much any niche? Are there any niches where this won't work?
I can't think of one where it wouldn't work, because we dive deep into the psychology of it. And once you understand the psychology, once you understand spotting the winning offers, it doesn't matter what you're selling. You could be selling cars, you could be selling houses, you could be selling stocks. This is going to work.
Okay, and Eddie's asking, will you help choose a niche? Not sure which niche to go with.
Well, I will tell you that one of the things I'm going to show you a working offer. And this offer is one that I just found myself, and it is so big that I can show it to you because there's a lot of different opportunities, but you'll understand once we get on the call together, and everyone I've shown this to has said, holy cow. So the answer to that question is yes.
Okay, excellent. Faith is asking, how long are these one-on-one calls?
So we do have the call, which is going to be about, I say half hour, but really you want to book about an hour and a half to 2 hours when you get on the phone with me.
Right, so these aren't like 10-minute calls then. This is
no,
a proper call, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, the longest I've done, which I don't do them that long anymore because it's very painful for me because my legs hurt afterward. The longest I've done was about 4 hours straight with one person.
Wow.
But on average, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So this is a real call. This is not, hi, have a nice day. No, we get down into it. This is a real call.
Okay, so James is saying, I thought Google didn't like squeeze pages or affiliates.
Only if you don't know how to do it. I promise you, you can do it.
Okay. Okay, Dominic's saying he's got a Google account, sorry, an AdWords account that's been banned. Is that going to be a problem? Can you open a new account?
Yep, if you need help getting your account back, I can work with you on getting your account back. I've got a couple people who had issues, and I helped them get their accounts back, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, excellent, because I guess the YouTube falls under the same umbrella, doesn't it? 'Cause it's all one account now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's just scroll through. I think we're approaching the end of the questions. So if you have any more questions there about the course or about any of these the training, so if you've got any questions about the YouTube side of this traffic, please enter your questions now if you want them answered, because we've got some incredible content this evening. Let me just have another quick look through. Okay, Barry is asking about banner advertising on YouTube. Is that a good strategy?
You can do the banner ads. The only thing with doing the banner ads is you're going to have to make sure you've got a Google compliant landing page.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling Google, here's my ad, here's my link, here's the web page I wanted to go through. Versus the way that I like to do it is we take it to a YouTube video, they watch the YouTube, and then we say, hey, if you want to sign up, go here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not sending them from the ad to the landing page, we're sending them from the ad to the video takes them to wherever we want. That's the only thing you're going to have to be careful with if you want to do banner ads. You can do them, but you just have to make sure you send it to a Google compliant landing page.
Okay, excellent. What else we got here? Okay, Stuart saying, thank you so much. What a fantastic webinar, Greg. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Richard saying, I was banned 20 years ago. Really? Okay. And he's been trying to resolve it ever since. Okay, so I'm sure something can be done with that. So do you think that would be a problem if he was banned 20 years ago?
No, because the thing is, there's certain steps we can go through. Then, if all else fails, we get a new account. But I'd rather you fix your account first than getting a new account.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I mean, this is always possible. I mean, the thing you need to remember with this, if you just try and do this yourself, if you've got an account that's been banned or frozen or something like that, Google's quite a big entity, and you just send them an email, you just never get a reply. It can be very, very frustrating. However, when you have an insider, somebody who knows, the people at Google, or knows the kind of like the tricks, the inside tricks, if you like, it can massively speed up the process. I know this from personal experience. Okay, so okay, I've got a question. How do you place your videos next to the top viewing videos, as you mentioned earlier? How do you do that?
Basically, that's called placements, and you're just telling YouTube, whenever someone's watching that video, show mine.
Okay, excellent. Kevin's asking, how often will we have calls?
So for the coaching piece, we do have the one call that we're going to do, which is going to be a couple hours. But let's say after that you've got a question for something. We have the inside of the members area. Just log in, submit your question, and I usually answer within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay. Got a question. How about advertising on Facebook and Twitter? Are the conversion rates high, especially for e-commerce?
It totally depends on what you're doing. I mean, Facebook I use extensively. Twitter, not as much. The only thing, again, between Facebook and Google is Facebook, you're going to work a little bit harder on your ads. You're not going to have set it and forget it. I've got some ads on Google I haven't touched in about 7 or 8 years. That's how long I've been running these ads. In Facebook, you're not going to be able to do that. The life of an ad is just not that long. So they're great. You definitely have to use them because there's a ton of traffic there as well. But I like to start with YouTube, Google, and Bing because it's just a faster way for me to get there. My brain is too, I told you I got ADD, so to manage Facebook takes a lot of work for me.
Yeah, you have to constantly update the adverts.
Yeah. To manage a Google campaign for me is completely easy. Once it's working, I don't got to touch it. Now, some people who aren't ADD like I am, that's perfectly okay. But for me, I know that's how my brain works, so I have to pick that model.
Okay, excellent. Mel is asking, with YouTube videos, do you have to be like on the camera yourself?
No.
So if you're a little bit camera shy, is that an issue?
Not at all. If you feel now, for the longest time, I used to think I had a face for radio. So I would never get in front of the camera. Now I get in front of the camera, but I'm telling you, 90% of what I do is PowerPoint.
Really? Right.
Yep, 90%.
Okay, excellent. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so Joe is saying, really loving this webinar, exclamation mark.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Will this course show us how using just paid traffic to build a real six-figure a month easily these days to quit your day job? So yeah, will your course realistically show how to build a six-figure business enough to quit your day job if you like?
Believe it or not, guys, a six-figure business is not hard.
No, I don't think so.
It really isn't. The key is understanding what is a six-figure business and where to get a six-figure business. One of the things I learned my dad used to say, my dad came from Haiti, living in the United States, and I grew up hearing this my whole life, only in America. Or if it's in the UK, only in the UK. The possibilities are endless. The only thing that's going to stop you is yourself. And that is, are you going to take the time to learn what those steps are? See, there's things that I had to learn. I understand them now. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I didn't understand those things. Now I have a mailing list, for example. One of my mailing lists is in the parenting niche. I've got 500,000 names. You realize I could launch a product tomorrow and send it out to 500,000 people. It took me 7 years to build that, but that's what I'm going to show you how to do. Now, again, one of the things I'm going to show you, remember I said I'm going to give you 100% of the blueprint. This is a market, it's a model, it's working now. I'm going to show you the people advertising right now. I'm going to show you where they're advertising. I'm going to show you exactly what they're selling, and I'm going to give you the landing pages that they have. If you have the keyword, you've got the landing page, you see where they're advertising, what's stopping you? And I'm not talking an ad that was run for the last 3 weeks. How about an ad that's been running since 2010? You can't go wrong when you have that because you've got the 100% of the puzzle. No pieces left out. I'm going to show that to you on our live call.
Okay. Sally is saying, been on other programs in the past where you had to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on expensive software and, okay, she's talking about an SEO bit of software she had to buy. So with your course, do you have to purchase very expensive software and tools and all sorts of gizmos like that? So is there going to be some kind of outlay for tools?
If you don't want it, what you need is your mind. The most powerful tool you have is your mind. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to give you, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I've got some tools that I use that we actually built. I'm giving them to you guys. You guys are going to get those for free. I didn't get a chance to tell you about that, but okay. you guys will get those for free. One of those tools, it's what I call the keyword organizer. I could take a keyword list of about 20,000 keywords and put them into groups, targeted groups, it'll take me about an hour.
Really?
What should have taken me a month. You remember doing keyword research and putting them into an Excel spreadsheet? How long that used to take?
A long time, days.
Yes. Now you can take the same exact thing and you can do it in about half hour to an hour's worth of time. There is one research tool that I talk about in the program, but they have a free version. Just use the free version. There is nothing else I recommend that you guys go out and get.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Google does provide these tools for you, so you don't need to go out and buy these expensive tools. And it's quite interesting, actually. I'm just picking up on the six-figure business question we had earlier about is it possible to build a six-figure business? And I would say that if you're trying to do stuff like search engine optimization and these other crazy things, no. Well, you could, but it would take an incredibly long time.
Yes.
The beauty with paid traffic is, you can literally turn it on, right now, and literally be getting traffic straight away, be testing stuff and making money super quickly. And that's why the elite tend to only use paid traffic in this industry, because it's so fast to test something, literally just turning on a tab. And when people always stop me at seminars and events, or send me emails and asking me, what's the secret sauce? What's the real secret? What are your top tips? And people are always thinking there must be some secret, something they're not telling us. What is it? Well, in reality, it's paid traffic, and that really is the secret. That is the thing that if you implement paid traffic and learn this stuff, that really it kind of like is the secret to making enormous wealth on the internet. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to use language like enormous wealth and try to be too hypey, but in reality it is simply because if I put a campaign up today, and you need to remember the internet just has such huge amounts of traffic, it's just crazy, okay? If I put an advert up today and I spend $200 on adverts, okay, and I make $500 back, the next day, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to put $500 back into that and make $1,500 back, and then the next day I'm going to put $1,500 in, and you can see where that can go very quickly. And before you know it, you're making 10 grand a day from a campaign. I know this works because I've done it in the past, and this is where these really big paydays can really come along. Obviously, those campaigns don't necessarily always last forever, but that's how this is how literally fortunes are made on the internet, and it's usually with paid traffic like this. Oh.
I had someone say to me, and I'll never forget this: if you have a business that you cannot advertise, then what you have is a hobby.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? A real business, you think I sold 100,000 plus products because I was doing search engine optimization? It doesn't happen with search engine optimization. I might have sold 5,000 products, maybe 10,000, not 100 plus thousand. Impossible to do in that short amount of time without advertising.
Absolutely. Why waste your time with SEO? It's people think SEO is free, but it's not. You're having to spend a huge amount of money on software tools, backlinking, and time for something that might work.
Yeah, that's a great point. Might work.
Yeah. Actually, Joe is actually just asking about this. Joe's just saying, so do you just use paid traffic for everything, or do you also use SEO as well?
I mean, I do SEO. I do even, when I upload a video to YouTube, I will SEO it. I will do some of those things, but it's very little. What I get from SEO and the amount of work I got to put into it, I could launch a whole new campaign with 1,000 keywords in it if I wanted to. So SEO just takes too long for me. I'm not saying SEO is bad. It's just for me, it's just not the direction I want to go in. In terms of super focused, let me really put the thought into this, it's just not for me. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Well, I think we're coming to the end of the questions. Thanks for staying on for so long. It's been a fantastic webinar. It's God, we've been 2.5 hours, and we've got some incredible content there, guys. And I just want to say a big thank you to Greg. He's just some amazing content there, and if you just implement a part of that, you'll do incredibly well. And remember, you know, paid traffic is really the way to go. And thank you so much, Greg, for being on the call today. Really enjoyed your content, and I think personally I've got a lot out of it, you know, today.
Awesome, awesome. It was my pleasure. Obviously, you can tell I love marketing. This is something that I am very passionate about, and helping people is also something that I am passionate about. I would love to work with you. I would love to get on the phone and show you some of the really high-end things that I have to show you. Again, on that live one-on-one phone call with me is the only place that I can reveal that. So if you thought tonight was good, you haven't seen anything yet because you haven't even heard the good stuff. So hopefully you want to get started and work with me and allow me to go through this journey with you.
Okay, thanks a lot, and speak to you soon.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.